female and male Patterson's eland both have horns. The horns of the females are a little bit longer, skinnier, and they have spirals, but you can't really see them very well. The males are much wider, pretty short though, but really pronounced spirals. Now the male Patterson's eland is actually the largest antelope in Africa. He will stand at about 6 feet tall at the shoulder and can weigh up to about 2,000 pounds. Now that is much larger, almost 2 times larger than the female that you see standing there. To put it in perspective, the male, if he were next to us, would stand right in line, his shoulder with the doors of the truck. Massive, massive antelopes. They actually have the ability to jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up in the air from a standstill. Now, if you had trouble seeing the other females and the baby, there's another female. Again, still very much smaller than the adult male. Now, one interesting thing I've discussed or talked about a lot of things animals will do to survive here on the savannah at night. One really cool thing they do is learn each other's calls. So an animal will call out, and a lot of the other animals will know that, therefore, that predators are nearby. That's pretty helpful, kind of like a safety network for them. And also, a lot of animals birth their young at night, so that they have the cover of darkness and safety to birth or clean their young. If it takes time for them to be mobile and active, did that as well. Now, that's actually true of giraffe, and I think I spotted one in the trees here to our left. Yeah. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them back there. Giraffe will birth their young at night. They'll be up and walking around within the first hour of their birth, actually, standing at about 6 feet tall. They actually birth their young while they're standing, so the first thing a little baby giraffe experiences is a drop of about 4 feet. You see one sitting down there, but they spend almost all of their time standing, eating and drinking standing up, even sleeping standing up. They only need about 30 minutes of sleep a day, and they can sleep standing up, and they can also sleep in short power naps throughout the day. So sleeping at night isn't really an issue for them either. They just do it during the day. Now as we come up this hill, you'll see a baobab tree at the very top on either side of the truck. They are nicknamed the upside down tree, because about 9 months of the year they will have no leaves. It looks like root structure sticking up out of the ground, and then the rest of the tree is underground. But simply they only have leaves during the 3 months of the rainy season. And that means the rest of the year they'll store water in their trunks to survive. But these trees can actually live to be over 1,000 years old, so they're very fascinating, very interesting trees. It looks like straight ahead, I think I see an elephant. It might be hard to see, but you can see the silhouette of an elephant.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of facing towards the right, I guess, and its trunk is hanging down there, you can't see. This burlap is making it a little bit harder to see that, unfortunately. Elephants will migrate every single day, miles, often in search of food, water, safety, mostly food and water. They consume hundreds of pounds of food a day. The herd will consist of the females and their young. The males leave at adulthood, live on their own, or live in small bachelor herds. Their childhood is 13 to 14 years, which is actually second longest to humans. The herds, the females, are led by the matriarch, typically the oldest or one of the older females, use their wisdom to survive, to help the rest of the herd survive. Look back there to the left, you may see that silhouette.
Whoa,
right
yeah.
there. Unfortunately, humans have had a pretty profound negative impact on elephants, from poaching to habitat loss. So we're trying to protect them from here and around it. Now coming up on our left, there's a flamboyance of greater flamingo. Now the greater flamingo are not the most colorful. They're mostly white, a little pink, but mostly white. But they are the largest. They stand at about 5 feet tall, and get their pink color after about a year or two from eating things like brine shrimp, which contain beta-carotene. They're born gray. It'll probably be hard to see if there's any babies out here. The babies will have gray legs, gray bodies, with the adults will have pink legs. A lot of the time people ask why they stand on one leg. We actually don't know the answer to that question. It could be to conserve energy or conserve heat, but we don't know for sure. Out in the distance to our right, there's a white rhino. White rhinos weigh about 5,000 pounds. That's actually almost 2 black rhinos. They're very large. They make up for their poor eyesight, very, very poor eyesight, honestly, with their hearing. They have ears shaped kind of like cones, so they amplify sound, and they will move their ears around to try and figure out what is happening around them. Now, rhinos can charge at about 35 miles an hour. Trying to stop 5,000 pounds moving that quickly, not very easy. So that just makes them very dangerous. Although once they realize what they're charging isn't a threat, they will attempt to change direction and stop. It's not always to do that. Now, white rhinos and black rhinos are both poached for their horns. Rhinos' horns are made of keratin, the same thing that our fingernails and hair are made of. But unfortunately, those horns are believed to have special properties, like medicinal properties, believed to cure things like cancer. So there's only about 5,000 black rhinos left in the world, and somewhere around 15 to 20,000 white rhinos. That difference could be because white rhinos are more social and can kind of protect each other, while black rhinos are hardly ever seen together. You almost never see two in the same place at the same time. Oh, you know, we're coming up to a Kopi rock formation here, and I just saw some movement on top. Kopis are the favorite home of lions. It looks like whatever I saw, hopefully it was a lion, just moved to the other side of the rock. So I'm going to come around and see if we can see them. Lions will actually be... Catch up to the truck in front of me. Lions will be inactive up to about 20 hours a day. They spend almost all of their time either sleeping or just at the very least napping, inactive, doing nothing. And then they're more active typically at night. They are primarily nocturnal hunters. They will sometimes hunt during the day, but most of their hunting is done at night. They have similar eyesight to humans during the day, but their night vision is about 6 times better than ours. They have padded paws, which allow them to move quietly. They can sneak up on their prey at night fairly effectively. I'm trying to look over to the right, because that's actually where we saw that white rhino. But I'm not quite seeing anything right now. That rhino actually, that's, well, possible moved, of course. It's not like they're going to stay next to the rhino. I'll keep going. Oh, you know what? It looks like there's a lion there to our left. It's a female and a male. And actually I see a second female a little further up. Now the female lions do the hunting while the male stays at home. The male will protect the pride and protect the cubs. Typically a pride only has one male because they fight for dominance. This is honestly the most active I've seen them, and I've been here all day long. So this is honestly really, really cool.
Perfect, thank you.
Does anyone know the Swahili word for lion? Yeah, Simba. Oh, there we go. I'd love to stay here all night and just listen to that, but we do have to kind of get moving. By the way, they can roar and be heard up to about 5 miles away. Oh, gotta make sure those lights are off. I don't know, we're gonna have to keep going. Now, as we continue through the savannah, as long as he continues roaring, continues growling, we will hear him. We can hear him from outside of the reserve. That is very, very cool. Over here on the right, there's a Bantabak. They're kind of a conservation success story. Because unfortunately, they were hunted to the point there was about 20 in the wild in the late 19th century. Thankfully, there were more in captivity, and we were able to bring them back. Oh, there's a second there. But they were brought back. They were reintroduced into the wild after time, and are now kind of flourishing. They're still on the endangered species list, but they're no longer extinct in the wild, and there's around 8,000 maybe. So it's improvement. It's really cool that we still get to see them, especially here on our reserve.
Traffic just over my perimeter, all the way north, all the way up to the next truck study.
currently straight ahead in the water, there's a looks like a pair of yellow-billed storks, and they are a bird that do pair up. A lot of birds actually do kind of. They will live in flocks, sometimes 10 to maybe 50 pairs, but they're carnivorous, so they eat fish, frogs, snakes, sometimes, the small birds, and that's probably what they're doing right now. They stand at the bottom of one of the springs here, wait for fish to come to them. Pretty resourceful hunting. Now, unfortunately, as we pass this gate here, we are exiting the reserve and we're coming to the end of our safari together. So we will have to drop you off at the moment. Warden's supposed to just a moment. Now, it's approximately 7:38. So it's about 22 minutes left until the very last safari leaves the Warden's post. If you'd like, we highly encourage you to ride it again. No two safaris will ever be the same. The animals